In this video, I'll be sharing with you what I've learned since turning 30 years young. 30 years young, make sure it's young. I'll share with you some realizations that I've had throughout my life. Also, I'm making pizza and carrot cake for my birthday because I like them. Maybe, I gotta play with the dog right now, he's playing with the toy. Maybe I'll put time markers in the video to make it easier with you. Maybe I won't. By the way, my birthday was last month, so I'm a little bit late to editing this. Blame the editor. Blame the editor. Enjoy. What's going on, guys? It's my birthday today. I'm 30 years old, 30 years young. I actually feel younger than I did when I was like 21, but I never thought I would be 30. It's a big day for me and I want to celebrate. I'm very grateful for my life. I'm very grateful for my family. Of course, it hasn't been an easy ride. Overall, I've learned a lot. I was talking to my friend Heather and we were saying, like, compared to our 20s, being 30, you feel so much wiser, so much more sure of yourself, and I really agree with that. So I really want to treat myself and I want to make a nice, sweet treat. But I'm not so into desserts, contrary to what you think, because I'm making cinnamon buns all the time. I do like, let's see, Italian cannolis, ice cream. I like the classics with a slight twist, but I like quality. I'm not so much of a cake person. Cupcakes are too sweet. But what I do like, which I haven't really had so much, is a good old-fashioned carrot cake. So I'm gonna try to make the best carrot cake there is for my birthday, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. You want a carrot? He likes it too. I'm gonna put the recipe in the description below. I'm kind of just winging it. I'm gonna take 4 room temperature eggs, crack them into my bowl. Carrot cake is really delicious because it's super moist. Oh gosh. You know, if you cook the carrot for a long time, it tends to break down and then it releases its sweetness, kind of like an onion. Just chill out, amateur. This is kind of a pain in the ass to put it in. I'm gonna whisk the eggs right now to incorporate some air into them. Go down, I gotta make a cake, okay? Come on. Wolverine. That's going. I'm gonna melt 2 sticks of butter. Got in here. Maybe I should use a bigger pan. Oh well. There we go. Just whisk the eggs for about 30 seconds. So now I'm gonna prepare my dry ingredients. 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now we're gonna add our leavening agents, which help the cake rise. You need baking powder and baking soda. Okay, Google, what's the difference between baking powder and baking soda?
Baking soda contains 1 ingredient, sodium bicarbonate. However, baking powder contains sodium bicarbonate, monocalcium phosphate, and either sodium acid pyrophosphate or sodium aluminum sulfate. Okay, if you understood that, great. If not, I just got my eyebrows put. Side note, they're looking very straight. She could have put a better curve in them. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1, 2, and 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. 1, 2. So I wanted to find some more information about baking soda and baking powder according to masterclass.com. The primary difference between baking soda and baking powder is that baking powder already contains an acid, whereas baking soda needs an acidic ingredient to create that rising reaction. Using baking soda in recipes that have acidic ingredients like buttermilk, lemon juice, or vinegar, and use baking powder in recipes that don't have acidic ingredients like biscuits, cornbread, or pancakes. That's from masterclass.com. About a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna use this good pink salt. Look at this pink salt. 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. You know I love the cinnamon buns. I don't understand.
Okay, Google, stop. All right, these are the dry ingredients. Now we're gonna measure out our sugar. So we're gonna do 1 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of regular granulated sugar. Brown sugar adds more moisture to it, adds more acid. Don't waste anything here. When brown sugar gets old, it starts to get hard and lose some of its moisture. Cup. Sugar. Eggs. Dry ingredient. Where's the carrots? 1.5 pounds of carrots. I washed them already and now I need to peel them and we need to finally grate them. So that is a long process. Peeler, peel over a bowl. It's easier. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 carrots. I like a lot of carrots. Gonna add nice moisture to it. It's gonna be good, nice soft cake. I thought I should talk about how it feels to be 30 years old because I never thought it was going to happen. Me personally, in my younger years when I was in my 20s, I'm talking like I'm so old right now. I'm not. Like, you probably think I'm crazy if you're watching this, but I think for me, my 20s was about discovering myself and trying new things and seeing who I was as a person. I spent a lot of time trying to be like other people, trying to do what other people did, trying out different types of jobs to see which ones resonated with me. That was all part of the journey of self-discovery to see who I was. I wasn't really being true to myself a lot of the time. I don't know, I was always just a different person. My friend, he's a good friend, we went to elementary school together. He took me out to Montauk, which is out in Long Island, when I was in my early 20s. And we went to a couple bars and it was rowdy and like everyone was going crazy. And I remember I was just so quiet and didn't really want to engage with anyone and felt very off and didn't want to drink alcohol. It was a weird feeling because I couldn't fit in at the time. I realize now that it's okay because I've always been a little bit different. But at the time I just thought I was weird and antisocial because I didn't like to do what they were doing. Like I would have rather had a nice meal with my friends. But when you're young, who wants to do that? You just want to get wasted. Thanks my friend for taking me to Montauk. I did have a good time. A lot of my early 20s just doing what everybody else did. It wasn't until a couple years ago when I started really owning my own identity. But I think it's a process, like everyone goes through this. Everyone goes through a similar process. But I would tell my younger self, it's okay to be different. I think at the same time while trying new things, it's okay to be different and it's okay to own your own individuality. I also started trying to eat a little bit more healthier these days, or at least be more aware of what I'm putting into my body. This of course is a treat. I'm trying to eat more plant-based foods and more veggies. Just a personal choice for myself. If I had my 20-year-old body with the wisdom that I have now, I would be like crazy, but that's not how life works. I've become more in tune with how I feel. Like when I'm tired, I take a nap instead of like trying to pull an all-nighter and everything. Carrot pasta. Let's take our grater. Be careful. You could use a food processor, okay? And don't have a conversation with your friend, your mother, your grandma when you're doing this, all right? Be careful that you don't hit your finger like I could potentially. A lot of carrot cake recipes use oil, vegetable oil. I'm using straight butter, which is gonna make it a little bit denser. Okay, so this is my version of carrot cake. Oh, another thing that I did in my later years was I dyed my hair. I don't give a about what other people think. I think that's a result of kind of owning my identity and the journey that I went through, like trying to be like everybody else, trying to be accepted into the group. Now I dyed my hair like ash color. I'm able to do this because in my 20s I would not have confidence to do this. Not saying that the hair changes who I am. It's just if I want to do something, I should be able to do it because it's my expression. Hey, you just came up. Hello. Hello. I know 30 is one of those numbers that the media paints as like a big milestone, as well as 50 and 60, but again, like, I feel younger than I did when I was 21. I guess because I'm finally embracing who I am as a person and not trying to be like everybody else. I think that's a big part of it. It's all, I think, it has to do with society places us into certain categories and boxes, and there's something to be said about age and respect. It shouldn't stop you from going after your dreams. Of course, like, there's external factors like having a family and everything, more responsibilities. Fresh ginger. How are we gonna get that on here? There, I got a little bit. You see those white spots? It's ginger. Just pour that in, mix that up. That smells good. And a lot of recipes in the 1990s for carrot cake used vegetable oil instead of butter because that was the latest hit, and they were like, carrot cake super healthy, they use vegetable oil, blah blah blah. But we found out now, because everything changes, everything flip-flops, that vegetable oil is highly processed and is not so good for you, like corn oil, vegetable oil, and actually butter is not as bad as we thought. Do your own research. This is my cake and my birthday, so I'm making it how I want. Yeah. Add the sugar and butter. Need to scrape this. Smells amazing. Now I'm gonna add a cup and a half of walnuts, optional. I like nuts. Golden raisins. This is about a cup. My grandma likes raisins a lot. That's what we're working with. Carrot mixture. Now it's time to scrape the bowl a little bit. Back on. Now we're gonna add the dry mixture in gradually. Let's preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Boom. Stop it right now. With cakes, you don't really need to worry about mixing it so much because you're not really developing gluten molecules. When you think of gluten, think of like bread or pasta, which has like a harder mouthfeel, kind of pulls apart. With cakes, you want it light and fluffy, right? So you don't need to worry about the gluten so much. 2 baking pans, about 9-inch circular pans. You can use whatever pans you have. I buttered them. Just 1, 2, level it out. This one's a little bit higher. I'm just gonna take a little bit from here, put it on there. All right, here we go. And now just a little, this is to level it out. Here we go, voila. Now into a 350 degree oven for about 30 minutes. Bye-bye. Probably closer to 45 minutes, but I'm gonna check after 30 minutes, see how they are. Okay, now it's time to clean off. It's about 15 minutes. I'm just gonna rotate the cakes. The tops haven't set, they're still like wobbly. So I'm gonna leave it in there for another 15 minutes. So about 45 minutes, let's say. I'm gonna take a toothpick. Okay, I'm gonna check it again after 40 minutes. It's still a little bit sticky, so I'm gonna put it back in for about 5 to 10 more minutes. The other one, this one is pretty good. 5 more minutes. So the bigger one needs a little bit more time. The smaller one is pretty much cooked, but I left them in there for 5 more minutes. Okay, I just took one out of the oven. It smells amazing. Let's do the, oops. Let's do the test one more time to check if it's cooked. Toothpick right in the middle. Should come out clean. It's good. Good. Perfect. This one is good. Oh, it's hot. Let's check the other one. Okay. This one right in the middle. Good. All right, both good now. Oven off. Let this precious cool before we frost them. If you don't like carrot cake, you're gonna like this cake because I made it and it's my birthday. Now I got the wide angle, so now this video is actually gonna be good. The cake has been cooling. First, let me show you how to make the cream cheese frosting. Let's go. Same recipe for my world famous cinnamon bun. So it's my birthday, but I'm giving you a gift. It's a great recipe. Why is it great? Because it's not so sweet. It has a good texture, really soft. My dog is playing over there. The ingredients: 2 8-ounce blocks of cream cheese, 3 sticks of butter, 2 cups of powdered sugar. You don't need to sift the sugar because it's called 10x sugar for a reason. It means it was fined 10 times, so you don't need to worry. Salt and vanilla extract. This butter is pretty room temperature, so I don't even need to cut it. Put it in my bowl, and we're gonna start mixing that. That's how it looks. I'm gonna stop it for a second. Use my rubber spatula. Scrape this off. While that's mixing, let's cut our cream cheese. 1, 2. It's starting to come together. I need to scrape the bowl again so the cream cheese and butter can equally be incorporated. This is a very important part. If you don't do this, then you won't get a homogeneous frosting. It'll be separated. Add a pinch of salt, a little bit of vanilla. See how it came together a little bit more? It's still not as fluffy, but we'll get there. Look at him with a slipper. Now this is gonna really start to look like frosting after we add the sugar in. There's a lot of sugar, but that's why it's frosting. And it's my birthday. Scrape it one more time. See that? That's nice. On low speed, don't add all the sugar in all at once, gradually. Starting to come together like a frosting. Make sure the sugar is all used up. It looks like clouds. This is what you want. Make sure you're always scraping the bowl. Don't waste anything. That's our cream cheese frosting. I got some tools. A serrated knife. These things to smooth out the cake. Some parchment paper. I have this plate thing. You can use just a regular plate. And I have a small bowl. Makeshift cake setup right now. EJ. Here are my cakes. So I hope this just comes out, but we'll see. You don't want to ice the cake when it's too hot because that's just going to be a problem. Hope that this comes out. Doesn't come out. Want to come out? Came out. Boom. Look at that. Not too bad. Smells really nice. Very dense cake. Now the other one. Flip it over. Boom. 2. There we go. Every time you go to a bakery, they always have a really flat, nice, uniform cake. But when you're at home, you always have this little like bump on top. This is fine. You can frost this as is. But since it's my birthday and I want to go all out, I am gonna make this a fancy frosted cake. And to be clear, I've only done this like twice in culinary school, so this might not turn out good, but let's learn together. I'm gonna take my serrated knife, gently carve the top off just to make it flat. And I'm gonna save the scraps. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Just cut my hand there. Let's try it. It's amazing. Happy birthday, Mamma Mia. Carrot cake is one of those classic like American desserts, right? Those American desserts you see in like movies stuff. And there's a lot of bad carrot cakes, but there's a lot of good carrot cakes like this one too. Just good ingredients. Oh crap, I almost cut my hand. Oh, I did cut myself. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Made this pretty much straight. and we're left with one piece. You don't have to do this, okay? This is not mandatory. I have nothing else better to do. I'm just showing you that you can make a fancy $40 bakery cake at home. We're gonna do a makeshift cake setup right now. So I'm gonna put a bowl right here. This is my spinning plate. See if this works. Parchment paper. I cut into strips like this. I have 4 pieces. You want to leave a little space in the middle, like that, and like this. So this is how it looks. Put this on top. We'll put a little bit of frosting right in the middle of this. Keeps the cake intact. I'm gonna put one layer of the cake down first with the bottom facing up. There we go. It's set down. This is optional, but sometimes there's a lot of crumbs. Just take the crumbs out, otherwise you're gonna get frosting on the crumbs, which is fine, but if you want to make like a fancy cake, it's not fine. Cake Michael. I'm more of a birthday pizza type of guy, but you know, put it right in the middle, and you don't want to have it too cold and you don't want to have it too hot. Right in the middle. So I'm just spreading that out. I'm holding onto the plate as I'm going around. There we go. Alright, that's a nice application of frosting. Touch more. Put the part that you cut off, put it face down over the top. Well, just push it down a little. You don't really gotta push it down a lot. If I cut it really straight, it would sit evenly down, but I didn't. So it's a little bit like not sitting properly. That's fine. I don't care. Frosting on top. You can turn the plate as you're going around. Now I'm gonna go on the side. Just need a little patience for this. This is why your cake is $80, because they do this. You know the thing about food? It takes so long to prepare, and it takes so little time to enjoy. Like, the point of enjoyment is so small if you calculate it by time. That's why I don't measure things by time, because it's never enough. Measure it by the quality of experience. Quote me on that. Yeah, this takes a lot of frost. You see how this is completely covered? So there's crumbs everywhere, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna put it in the freezer right now so it hardens up a little bit, and then I'll be able to put one final coat of frosting on to tighten it up. My cake's been in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes to get it nice and clean like they do in the ice cream places. Dip it into warm water. Apply one more coat on the top. Okay. Now to touch it up nicely, just put warm water, makes it smooth. I'm doing it my way right now, lightly. Professional cake right here. Professional cake, professional cake, professional. Oh, it's gonna fall. Some shredded coconut, just around. Walnuts. And add a little bit more coconut on the side, cascading effect. Take the parchment paper off. Voila, check that out. Wow, this is heavy. This would cost like $80 in the store. Happy birthday to me. I wish you were here with me to enjoy this. Now I know why it costs a lot of money, because it takes a long time to like ice and everything. It's gonna go in the refrigerator overnight. I'm gonna make some pizza. I love pizza. I had one of my birthday parties when I was like a short fat kid at a pizza place. It was called Pizza Tonight. I worked at a pizza restaurant for 3 years. So I made the carrot cake, and now it's time to make the pizza. In the description, I'll put the recipe for one batch of pizza, but I just tripled it because I'm going all out. I don't like to be specific. I don't like to be particular. I don't like to measure, but you gotta measure with bread and baking. It's important. It's moody. It's like when you ask your girlfriend, where do you want to eat tonight? She's like, I don't know, where do you want to eat tonight? And you're like, oh, how about Japanese food? And she's like, that is not an indication that you should go eat Japanese food. She indirectly said no. So you gotta have options, you gotta have recommendations. So what does this have to do with bread? You gotta be particular. So this recipe, I'm using grams. If you don't want to eat Japanese food, you're gonna get Japanese food. Taking my scale. My grandma's watching TV so loud downstairs. 14 grams of dried yeast. Now I need 780 grams of water. It's gotta be warm water because we need to activate the yeast. That's 500. So I need, do the math. I need set 280 left. Check the temperature, 108. The water should be about 100 degrees Fahrenheit because I don't want to kill the yeast. Into the yeast. Okay, Google, set timer for 10 minutes. Aspetta, devo cambiare I miei vestiti per fare la pizza. Adesso sono pronto per fare la pizza. Mamma mia. Alright, back to Michael. I bought this in Little Italy, Manhattan. Like, yes, it's a stupid tourist shirt, but I think it's amazing, so I bought it. Free hugs. All we need is love. I got some baby bella mushrooms. The yeast has pretty much dissolved into this water. Now I'm gonna slowly add some flour in. And more flour. I'm starting to feel the pushback is coming together. Olive oil. This is kind of like a pizza focaccia. I don't really know what it is. And the last step is the salt. Don't add the salt in early because it stops yeast activations. So I'm gonna add that in now. Need this for about 3 minutes. You can do it by hand too. Roll out some flour. Flour my surface pretty heavy. Roll this out here. This looks like a glob. Hopefully this comes out right. Folding this in. More flour. Alright, it's still sticky. Flour. Alright, I hope I'm doing this right. Now I'm gonna put some oil on this bowl. Here it is. Okay. It is a very sticky dough. It's kind of like a focaccia dough. It's a take on focaccia alla genovese. So now we're gonna let this sit for 20 minutes. Now when you're making bread, a sticky dough is not necessarily a bad thing. When I make cinnamon buns all the time, it goes through like a super sticky stage and then it comes together and it's not so sticky. But if you keep mixing it more and more and more, it's gonna get sticky again. When it first started, it wasn't even coming together. It was just like gloppy. So now I'm gonna cover this for 20 minutes. Put this in the oven because it's warmer. Okay, now I'm gonna cut some mushrooms. I'm making a mushroom duxelle, which is a small dice of mushrooms. You really get all the water out and it's just like umami mushroom flavor. It involves cutting a lot of mushrooms. Cut them however you like, but we really want to get them small. So this is what I like. I'm gonna put it back in my bowl. I like using these plastic. Makes it so much easier. Now I got some eggplant. Cut the stem off. This is Japanese eggplant on the bias like that. Okay, here's the eggplant. Garlic. Smack it. Pizza's been proofing now for 40 minutes. I'm too slow. Mince this small. I don't like a big piece of garlic. Makes my breath smell. But it's not like I'm gonna be kissing anyone anyway, besides my dog. 1, 2, 3. Voila, so it proofed a little bit. See that? So I was watching a lot of Italian YouTube videos about making pizza and focaccia. They let it proof, and then they take it out, they knead it, and they let it proof again, so I'm gonna do the same thing. Mamma mia, look at this. I see some air pockets starting to develop on here too. You see how it's sticky, but it's not like sticking to the table that much. Back into the bowl for another 30 minutes. And put it in a warm plate. Now, while that's proofing for the second time, I'm gonna cook my mushrooms. Medium heat, olive oil, good amount of olive oil. Mushrooms in. Mix that around. Add some pepper, flaky salt. There's a lot of water coming out of the mushrooms right now, that's good. Reduce that. We want concentrated mushroom flavor. Add the garlic in. Most of the water and the liquid evaporated. It reduced in size by half. Now I'm gonna add a little alcohol. See what I can find. Let's add a little bit of this Armagnac. Careful off the heat. Always add it away from you. Back on the heat. Try this out. Very good. Finish with a little bit more salt. Put the heat on. Good olive oil. This is 1 pack of mushrooms. Very concentrated mushroom flavor. Very good. I want to squeeze a lemon on here a little bit. Mix that around. All right, turn this back on. Add some olive oil. Now it's eggplant time. I'm gonna pan fry it in stages. A little bit of pink salt, pepper. A little bit more oil. Why am I using my hands? Look, it shrunk down so much. I'm trying to eat more plant-based. I love eggplants and mushrooms. So I'm gonna make an eggplant and mushroom pizza. It's busting out. With the oil in here, I'm gonna add 2 anchovies. It's gonna liquefy in the pan and spray everywhere. Add the eggplant back in. Now we're talking. Look at this now. Amazing. Eggplant done. Mushroom. 1, 2, 3. I think this will make 2. Olive oil in my baking pan. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Spread the oil out. And I'm stretching it out with my fingers. Like this. Or trying to. Now we're gonna let this proof again for about 1 hour. After 1 hour, we should be able to spread this out. Mamma mia! Oh baby, look at this expansion. It smells like yeast in here. Preheated the oven to 400 degrees. So these proofed on the pans for about 1.5 hours. And now it's time to top them. Ooh. Cooked potato, boiled potato, because my mom likes it. Grape tomatoes. Potato pizza. On the potato side, some dried rosemary. And then these, I'm gonna leave empty because I'm gonna put my eggplant and mushrooms on them. Olive oil. 15 minutes, let's see what it is. Pizza! Since it's my birthday, I'm gonna crack open this bottle of wine. Magna Carta 2014 from Napa Valley. It's like a Bordeaux blend. Thank you, David, for sending this to me. I haven't tried this for so long because I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I haven't been drinking alcohol, but I'm gonna give it a taste today because it's my birthday. Wine key, I still got my skills. First things first, you wanna take off the film from the top. And I'm using a waiter's key. Then I'm gonna take this and gently go up, rip this off. Whoop, I just made it not fine dining. In fine dining restaurants, you would keep this on, but I messed it up. And with my wine key, right in the center. Down. 2-pronged wine key. Hold it. Up. I'm gonna let this aerate for a little bit. It's been all closed up for so long, so I'm gonna let this chill out on the side. Magna Carta 2014, Napa Valley. Oh, look at the color. Swirl it around. Wow, you get blackberry, cranberry, rosemary. I smell the alcohol. This is very full body. Let's try it out. The fruit is very ripe. Ripe strawberries, ripe raspberries. A little bit of balsamic. Slight note of black pepper. This is super nice. Cranberry. Cranberry pomegranate all day. Velvety smooth. I feel like a boss. And let's get some basil, some tomato sauce, mozzarella cheese, now some Parmesan cheese, olive oil. And there's that one. Classic. Let's take a look at the pizza. Put this around. Now I'm gonna put this one in. Rotate this. Mom, say hi. What are you making?
Salad.
Salad with what?
Cucumber, lettuce.
Looks good. So now while it's hot, I'm gonna add the eggplant, a little bit of mushroom over here. Flaky salt on the tomato one, on the potato. Fresh basil to finish it. Wow, this is good. We got the eggplant anchovy pizza, mushroom duxelle, potato rosemary, just some cherry tomatoes, and here's the margarita up here. We have plain over here. My mom made a nice antipasti salad right here, and then a salad. Thank you, Mom. You can see it's really crispy. And in Rome, they make pizza al taglio. They have different toppings and you can really pick which one you want. This is great for an appetizer, this is great for an entree, this is great forever, but it's about sharing. I opened this too. Dump that out. Yeah, it's Costco one. Thank you.
She can come out.
Thank you, thank you.
How is it?
Just to Papa. This is for Papa. Yeah.
Wow, mất công lên à.
How is it? I don't know. Good and good.
좋아요. tomato.
Oh, it's crispy. This one is better because it's airier.
Yeah, lighter. How come?
Oh, from the same dough. This one rose a little bit more. A lot of work. Happy birthday to me. I just made a lot of pizza right here. Actually, come over and eat it with me. Here's my homemade carrot cake that I spent all day making. Cake is made fresh. Cream cheese frosting is fresh. Put a little coconut and walnuts on. Oh crap. This looks like some art. I don't even want to eat it. It's like a painting by my friend Arts and Annie. Check out her page. She does good paintings. We call this Snowy Hill.
Really good. Excellent. I like the raisins.
Papa, how is it?
Good.
It's good?
I like it. A lot of nuts in there.
Oh, sick, Papa?
Yeah. Hold it.
Remember, it's not what you eat, it's who you eat it with. That's an experience. Wish you and your family health, wealth, and happiness. I know you're watching the videos because of my grandmother.
Thank you.
Papa, do you like cooking?
I had to cook.